Welcome to Fabloria, where we listen, we relax, and we enjoy timeless fairy tale stories. In the gentle slopes of a lush and verdant valley, where sunlight poured over rolling hills and the air smelled of fresh earth and blooming flowers, there stood a modest yet charming cottage. This home belonged to a widow named Eleanor, a woman of resilience and courage who lived there with her only child, a daughter named Lily. True to her name, Lily was a vision of charm and grace, with a smile that could melt hearts and a face as luminous as the full moon. Her innocence radiated in every glance, and her tender heart made her beloved by all who knew her. Since the untimely passing of Lily's father, Eleanor had been the sole pillar of their lives. She worked tirelessly at a large, well-known estate nearby, tending to animals, fields, and household chores from dawn to dusk, never once letting fatigue sway her commitment to providing for her daughter. Despite the hardships, Eleanor remained steadfast, her love and determination forming the very backbone of Lily's sheltered and happy childhood. One day, as Eleanor carried out her usual duties, a tragic accident occurred. One of the estate's sheep, grazing near the edge of the property, slipped and fell into the deep well. The animal's cries echoed through the courtyard, and Eleanor, rushing to help, was too late to save it. Just then, the estate's owner, a stern and heartless man named Mr. Hawthorne, appeared, his face twisted with rage at the sight of his lost livestock. Without even a moment's thought, he turned his fury upon Eleanor, his voice dripping with anger. "This is your fault. Your carelessness has cost me dearly. I will not forgive this, not today." Eleanor, trembling and terrified, fell to her knees, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Please, sir," she begged, her voice quivering. "I did not mean for this to happen. It was an accident. I was only doing my duties. Have mercy on me, for God's sake." But Mr. Hawthorne's heart was cold. He scorned her pleas, belittled her efforts, and without a second thought, ordered her locked away in the darkest room of his estate. "Your daughter can wait. You will stay here until I decide otherwise," he commanded, his tone final and merciless. As shadows lengthened and the evening sun dipped behind the hills, Lily anxiously waited at the doorway of their cottage, her small hands clutching a lantern. Her heart thudded painfully as the night grew darker and her mother did not return. Unable to bear the silence, she set off across the fields toward the estate, her footsteps hurried yet cautious, her tiny heart brimming with dread. Reaching the manor, Lily asked the master about her mother. I am looking for my mother," she said, her voice shaking but polite. Mr. Hawthorne, with a cruel smirk, replied, "Your mother's negligence has cost me dearly. Until you bring me 10 gold coins, Eleanor will remain imprisoned. Do you understand?" Hearing this, Lily's legs trembled and she fell to the ground weeping. 10 coins! How could I possibly gather so much? Please have mercy. She is my only family. Don't do this." The guards, following orders without hesitation, pushed Lily outside. She wandered aimlessly, her heart aching with fear and sorrow. The estate, once a place of work and security, had become a prison for her beloved mother, and Lily was left entirely alone. Desperate, she knocked on every door in the village, begging for help. "Please, someone help me. I cannot leave my mother to suffer." But no one responded. Their hearts were closed, their doors firmly shut. The world seemed harsh, uncaring, and cold. Next door to Lily's home lived a wealthy woman named Victoria, whose daughter, Selina, had always envied Lily's charm and goodness. Despite their poverty, Lily's beauty and virtuous nature outshone Selina's, and jealousy festered in her heart like a dark flame. When Lily came to Victoria's door seeking assistance, she was met with mockery instead of compassion. Selina sneered, "Even if we gave you gold, how could a girl like you ever make use of it? You're too poor and too naive to manage such wealth." These words pierced Lily's heart like poisoned arrows. Her sorrow was immense, and she cried throughout the night, wondering why the world could be so cruel to those who tried only to do good. The next morning she returned to the estate, hoping that Mr. Hawthorne might show mercy, but he remained unmoved, refusing her plea and denying her access to her mother. Heartbroken, she left once more. As she wandered, lost in despair, she found herself walking along a path unfamiliar to her, and soon the sound of the ocean's waves reached her ears. There, near the seashore, she heard a faint, anguished voice. "Please, someone, help me! I am drowning!" Startled, Lily looked around. Her eyes widened as she spotted a mermaid, her body tossed onto the shore by powerful waves, struggling to breathe. Her scales shimmered like the sun reflecting on water, and her eyes were filled with fear and desperation. "Oh, please, someone put me back in the water. I cannot survive here," the mermaid cried, her voice quivering. Despite her initial fear, mermaids were creatures of stories, not reality. Lily's compassionate heart could not let the creature suffer. She rushed forward, and using all her strength, gently pushed the mermaid back into the safety of the sea. As the cool water surrounded the mermaid, she gasped, her strength returning immediately. "You saved me," the mermaid said, her voice soft and filled with gratitude. "Thank you, kind-hearted girl. But why are you here, alone, with such sorrow upon you?" Tears welled in Lily's eyes as she recounted her plight. "My mother has been imprisoned by the cruel estate owner," she said, her voice shaking. "He refuses to release her until 10 gold coins are paid. I have no one else in the world, only my mother." The mermaid's heart softened at Lily's story. "Do not worry," she said with a gentle smile. "You have helped me, now I shall help you." With that, she opened her mouth, and countless diamonds spilled onto the sand, gleaming with a brilliance that reflected the sunlight in 1,000 dazzling colors. Lily's eyes widened in disbelief. These are diamonds," she whispered. "Yes," said the mermaid. "Sell them, gather the 10 coins, and free your mother. From this day forward, we are friends. Whenever you are in need, come to me, and I will aid you." Overjoyed, Lily thanked the mermaid and hurried to the market. There she exchanged the diamonds for gold, collecting exactly 10 coins. With hope renewed, she returned to the estate and presented the coins to Mr. Hawthorne. Surprised and stunned, he had no choice but to release Eleanor. Mother and daughter embraced, tears of joy streaming down their faces. Grateful and blessed, they returned home, where Eleanor asked, "Lily, where did you find so much money?" Lily smiled. "A friend helped me, a mermaid I met by the ocean. She gave me the diamonds, and they brought us these coins." In the following days, Eleanor and Lily built a beautiful new home. where they lived safely and happily. Lily would often visit the seashore to meet her mermaid friend, and together they shared stories and laughter. Witnessing poverty and suffering during her journey, Lily's heart grew ever more compassionate. She opened a kitchen where she prepared and distributed free meals to the poor, the needy, and orphans in her village. Her kindness and generosity became known far and wide, inspiring all who saw her. News of Lily's benevolence reached King Alastair of the Sultanate, who, intrigued by tales of a virtuous and gentle girl, resolved to see her for himself. When he arrived in the village, he witnessed Lily distributing food with her own hands, children playing around her, and a smile that shone brighter than the sun. He was captivated by her beauty, sincerity, and heart. "May I share a meal with you?" the king asked, approaching her politely. Startled, Lily turned and curtsied. "Your Majesty, it would be an honor," she replied, offering him a portion of the food she had prepared. The king tasted it and was astonished. "This is extraordinary. Even the finest kitchens of my palace cannot rival this," he exclaimed, his admiration evident. He conversed with her for hours, enchanted by her wit, kindness, and humble wisdom until evening fell. Seeing this, Selina, who had been watching secretly, seethed with jealousy. Determined to undermine Lily, she followed her the next day to the seashore, hoping to uncover the secret of her wealth. She witnessed the mermaid giving diamonds to Lily and laughing with her. Selina's heart filled with greed and malice, and she devised a cruel plan. She would attack the mermaid and seize the diamonds for herself. However, when she drew near and attempted her attack, a radiant light filled the air. The mermaid, transformed into a majestic water fairy, lifted into the sky. "I aid only the kind-hearted," the fairy proclaimed. "Your heart is filled with greed. Leave, and know that every word you speak shall now bring forth serpents and scorpions from your mouth." As she spoke, snakes and scorpions began to fall from Selina's lips, terrifying her beyond measure. Screaming in horror, she fled, never to harm Lily again. Meanwhile, King Alastair, enthralled by Lily's virtue and charm, asked Eleanor for her daughter's hand in marriage. With Lily's consent, the wedding was arranged with grandeur. On the day of the celebration, the water fairy appeared once more, bestowing upon Lily a gown of breathtaking beauty. In that attire, she looked more radiant than the moon itself. The fairy blessed her and departed, leaving Lily to begin a life of happiness and honor alongside King Alastair. Thus, Lily, the girl with a kind heart, and her mermaid friend's magical intervention overcame greed, cruelty, and hardship. With her wisdom, compassion, and courage, she lived a life filled with joy, benevolence, and love, inspiring all who came to know her story.